just going to say I'm not a lawyer. You are. But just on its face, that does seem to complicate things. If you're arguing sex-based discrimination, that you have to pick a sex, right? And what you're saying is, well, both are at issue here.
Yeah, and you know, that certainly was not something everybody agreed on, but I think that it was, I'm trying to remember at this point, I think it was at one point Justice Alito who was saying, well, whether a boy or a girl comes in and wants the treatment, it's not based on their sex that they're being denied, because boys and girls will both be denied in some of these cases. But really it is about, you could argue, age. There were times that they were going circular with each other, especially there were a couple of long periods with Justice Jackson, and she was very passionately engaged on this issue, but she and the Tennessee Solicitor General, who was defending the law, really just kept going in circles, to the point where, you know, from where I'm sitting, I look and I see some of the folks who were in, you know, the audience there kind of throwing up their hands, like they're just talking past each other on trying to get to some definitions they could agree on.
Which way did you sense the court leaning, or rather, what piqued your ears as to some of the questions that we heard from some of the justices? I know they always make comments, but did you hear anything that sort of piqued your interest more than others?
Well, we kind of look at the court now that it feels like it's split in 3 threes. It's not a 6-3. Often it's a 3-3-3. So we often think of Justices Gorsuch, Alito, and Thomas sticking together, and then Justices Roberts and Barrett and Gorsuch sticking together, and then you have Justices Kagan and Sotomayor and Jackson often sticking together. We did not hear a peep from Justice Gorsuch, and he made a lot of headlines for an opinion a couple of years ago. He wrote Bostock. This was a decision.
Shalom. You know, first and foremost, you know what I'm saying, I get started, we give all honor and glory and peace and blessings. You know, to the hope that leg in the four corner, pushing the truth and sincerity. All right, the great song that you brought in the bar. All right, just come with this little lesson, you know, another installment or inspiration, all right, of edit radio station Edification. And they talking about children, you know, with their sex change. And this only for education purposes, on fair use. But this will show you that this is spiritual Sodom. You know what I'm saying? They declare they sin in Sodom, they hide it not. Because it's an argument, all right, that's going on as in the children's sex change. Now, the argument is not about them having the sex change, which that's a big problem. You know what I'm saying? Because the Most High, Yahweh, all right, he created man and woman. You know, he only created 2 genders. You know, but you see in the society, you got more than one gender. How can it be? But that's not the argument, though. The argument is whether they have the rights as an 8 or 9, 10-year-old to decide that on their own, and their family have no say so in it. You know, so this should bring you to angry mindset. You know what I'm saying? Seeing how the leaders of this world trying to put, you know what I'm saying, their energy off on the kids, man, and give them that liberty to choose what they want to choose when it's too early. You know, but basically, you want to keep the origin of your how about Shema Shah, boy, girl. But even to the point that they trying to do it at the age of 8 and 9, you know, you still don't really know, you know what I'm saying, you're full of potential as a boy or a girl. You know what I'm saying, when you're 8 or 9 years old. You just starting to get hip to the world. You just starting to know certain words, you know what I'm saying, do certain things. You just starting to, you know what I'm saying, if I could be blunt, wipe your ass good when you're 8 or 9 years old. So how the hell you gonna try to push this, you know what I'm saying, agenda off on the young child? But let me turn it back up. And this, like I say, this is all for education purposes, only fair use, you know.
Look at the law that's been passed and say, you know, there are different levels, and heightened scrutiny is considered kind of an intermediate scrutiny. Strict scrutiny is the highest level of judicial review, which it looks at laws that potentially impact fundamental rights and say, all right, the government, the state here has got to come forward with a really compelling compelling interest if they're going to intrude on this area of rights. Now, the lower courts didn't use heightened scrutiny, and that's what those who oppose this Tennessee law are arguing. And, the Solicitor General started out saying, we don't even think the Supreme Court should hear this case because the lower courts didn't use the right level of scrutiny. So they said, our argument is you send it back down and tell them this is the level of scrutiny that you used. It wasn't tough enough on the Tennessee law. I don't know that the Supreme Court would do that because there were, at least one of the justices said, listen, even if we send it back, it's going to be back here in a year. So why don't we just decide it now? So listen, that's one of the options. And you always have to keep in mind, they've done this in the last couple of years, sent some really big cases back down without deciding them. But it seemed like their appetite, at least most of them, was to, no, let's just go ahead. And even if we change the level of scrutiny that we're going to apply to this law, let's do it here and decide it here.
Fascinating. Finally, Europe. I'm not used to Republicans holding up modern day decision making in Europe as an example for a lot of things. But in this case, they were saying, hey, let's look at some European countries. They've been leading the way on gender transition medical care and places like Sweden.
See that? European, Edomites, Caucasian, they've been leading the way of this agenda.
Within the court about this consideration about what Europe's doing.
I think that Justice Alito was the first one who broached this, and he was saying to the Solicitor General, which represents the government, the Biden administration intervened in this case. It started with some private plaintiffs who were young people, their parents, and a doctor who does trans treatment and all of that for young people. But the government intervened. The Justice Department got involved and said, hey, we feel like we've got an interest here in fighting against Tennessee. So the Biden administration, represented by the Solicitor General, and Justice Alito said, in your opening of your brief, you say it's uncontested, that there are benefits and that this must be done for young people to save them from suicide and depression. And he said, actually, there's a lot of debate still ongoing about this. And he introduced the studies in the UK and Sweden and saying, look, they've decided that the risks in many cases do not, they are outweighing the benefits here. And so they're pulling back and they're limiting this care. And so he pointed to them. It came up again with Justice Kavanaugh later, and he said, yeah, we can't act like this debate is over. It's not settled. There's a lot that's gone on overseas. And he said it's a yellow light, maybe even a red light for us, that if these people were the leading proponents of transition care and treatment for young people, and now they're saying, whoa, we found some serious problems, shouldn't the U.S. Allow these states to make their own decisions and put pauses where they think it scientifically or medically, in their judgment, makes sense?
Shannon Breen, thank you so much for your time.
Yeah.
Great to be with you, Jess.
Yeah, but it should not be no argument. It shouldn't be an argument, based on, children, little kids, going to get their gender changed. It shouldn't be no fucking argument, man. But this will show you that the type of world that we live in. This will show you the type of world that we live in, man. You people on the comment board, people that watching, y'all agree to this? Do y'all agree? Because if you agree to this and what they're trying to establish in this world, then you're gonna be held accountable at the same judgment as those that do it. You go to Romans, when you go to Memphis, let me grab that. I'm gonna go to Romans real quick. All right, and listen. This is Romans 1:32. All right, this is Romans 1:32, 1:42. How about you, shot? All right, this is Romans 1:32. It says, who knowing the judgment of the Most High? All right, because who know the judgment of the Most High? All right, the prophets, the men of the Lord, as we continue to read and the Lord show his judgment every morning. The scriptures say he bringing judgment to light every morning. That's why you see so many deaths, car wrecks, unbelievable car wrecks. You know what I'm saying? People dying at a fast rate, unbelievable deaths. You see that shit every day happening. But who knowing the judgment of the Lord when it comes down, all right, to the abominable things? Because it's in the law that a man, all right, should not lay down with a man. A woman should not lay down with a woman. That's in the law. But who knowing the judgment? All right, so who knows the judgment of the Most High that they which commit such things are worthy of death. See that? It's worthy of death, but here it is. They're trying to make this a law. All right, that a young man or a young woman as a kid or children can go do this foul act. All right, and guess what? In the eyes of the people, they would not be held accountable for their actions. It would be accepted. But according to the Bible, all right, that's an act that what is worthy of death. You see? But it says that they which commit such things are worthy of death, not only them that do this, like it, not only do the same, but what have pleasure in them that do them. So if you agree, all right, you agree with this man, all right, in this world, then guess what? You against the monkey in the middle. You got the fence. All right? Because the Most High said, you with me? Not with me, what? You against me. All right? So we see that, you know, America Babylon is starting to become spiritual Sodom. You know, that's what I get from it. You know, it's becoming that, and they not hiding it. All right? This is Isaiah 10 and 1. Isaiah 10 and 1. It said, woe to them that decree unrighteous decrees. That's unrighteous, man. You know, that's unrighteousness to allow children, all right, to have a sex change, man. That's unrighteous. And it says, and their right grievousness which they have prescribed, to turn aside the needed from judgment, all right, and to take away the rights from the poor of my people. And that's what they do. All right, they put us in a heavy trick bag, man, saying this right here is for the people. This is going to help us. This is going to help further the economy. This is going to help further America. This and that, woo woo woo. All right, but the end result is it leads us to death, man. All right, and to keep us, all right, from our power. All right, and it says that the widow may be their prey, and they make what? Rob the fatherless. Now, when you go into Micah 2 and 1, so this some bullshit, you know, and we gotta hear this. Like, it shouldn't even be no argument. Once again, it should not be no argument for children to have a fucking sex change, man. It shouldn't be an argument. It should be a fucking hell no when America so-called built on Bible principles. Is not America supposed to be a God-fearing country? Do America not supposed to be a God-fearing country? If so, if America was a God-fearing country, why the fuck they trying to do this unrighteous act? If they was a God-fearing country, this will show you that no, this is Satan. All right, this is Satan kingdom, man. All right, which is the physical counterpart of Satan's who? The so-called white man Esau Edom. Whether you disagree or whether you agree, I'm telling you facts according to the Bible. All right, but this is Micah 2 and 1. It said, woe to them that devise iniquity. What's iniquity? All right, sin on top of sin on top of sin. All right, and woe mean what? Discretion. So the Lord like discretion unto you that devise iniquity. All right, and it said, and work evil upon their beds. All right, and how do they work evil? They get together, as in Psalms the 83rd chapter, all right, and they get together, all right, and they start to put laws and legislation in place to bring forth this madness, man. All right, so the Lord says, which they, come on, man. In my phone, come on, you tripping. All right, it says, and work evil upon their beds, because it's an evil act. When you think about the sex change of children, that's an evil act, man. Allowing moles to run rapidly get certain laws put in place, for protections. That's evil. That's evil, man. And it says when the morning is light, all right, they practice it. Meaning what? They put it in place. They put it in the jurisdictions, however you say that shit. All right, dealing with the court systems, dealing with the laws, the federal, the government. All right, they put these laws in place, so that's called practicing it. All right, but it says they practice it because it's in the power of their hand. And who have the power, all right, to pass these laws? The so-called white man. All right, so discretion unto them, man. All right, let's see what else they got.
Commit to each other, and I want to be part of the story.
Okay, it's on commercial, but yeah, that's a damn shame, man. It's a damn shame that it's an argument, all right, about kids changing their genders. That's a shame. But this is the world that we live in. Why? Revelation. We got to make sense of this. Revelation, all right, 11 and 8. Was 8 and 11. Yeah, Revelation 11 and 8. It says, and their dead bodies shall lie in the street of that great city. Well, who was a great city? America, Babylon the Great. That's a great city. It said, which is spiritually, all right, spiritually it's called Sodom and Egypt. Why is it spiritually called Sodom? Because you see what's going on dealing with the alphabet community, dealing with this law that they're trying to pass, for these young children, to commit this evil act in the sex change. All right, which you think about it, they get a sex change at 8, 9 years old, and then they get 30 years old, 28, 20 years old or something, and they decide to, be who they are as their real gender, as in a boy was a girl and the girl was a boy, and they get to a certain age, like, I want to be a boy now, or I want to be a young woman now, and you can't. You see, you can't. Because you already fucked yourself up. So why this have to be an argument to show you that the time we are in, man, we are in evil times, man. All right, it's Revelation 11 and 8 again. It said, and their dead bodies, how are they dead? They spiritually dead, mentally dead. All right, shall lie in the streets of the great city, which is what called spiritual Sodom and Egypt, man. All right, I'm gonna type in, there's another precept. Going to Isaiah. This is Isaiah. This is Isaiah 1 and 9. And it says, except the Lord Yahweh of hosts have not left up unto us a very small remnant, which is speaking about the elect in the 1/3, we should have been like Sodom, and we should have been like Gomorrah. Because what happened in Sodom and Gomorrah? Because the Lord said he left an example. All right? But we should follow to not be like Sodom and Gomorrah. And an example when he rained fire and brimstone upon them place in the 5 cities. So what's going to happen to Babylon the Great when this is spiritual Sodom? Fire is going to rain down upon this place, man. And if you're in agreement, if you don't have no problem with your daughter being gay or your son being gay, you don't have no problem with that. The Lord going to kill your ass too. That's straight up. You're supposed to be against that. And that's how the Lord can have favor on you, mercy on you, because you're against it. Especially when they grown. But you against your mindset against it. You speaking against it. You're in a better position than letting the shit be alright, okay, and you ain't worried about it. You ain't got nothing to do with it. That's a whole nother ball game. Alright? Because you're supposed to be for righteousness. Yeah. Let me go back to Yeah, this is Isaiah 3 and 9. It said they show their countenance, all right, though which like it. The show of their countenance, though witness against them, all right, because you see how the people, you know, they acting in this society. It's showing it's against them. You know what I'm saying? They letting them just do what the hell they want to do, man. All right, they have all types of parades. They gave them a whole month to themselves. Like, it's some bullshit. So it witness against them because we testifying against this, and we have proof. You know, we have proof, man. All right. So it says, the show of their countenance, though witness against them, and they declare they sin as Sodom, going right back into the ancient Sodom and Gomorrah. All right, Babylon the Great, which is America. All right, they had declared the same. All right, in this time, all right, as Sodom, they hide it not. You see that? They ain't, you know, back in the 90s, I know back in the 90s, early 80s, you know, they used to, this used to be a thing called in the closet. You know, Jake was in the closet, Esau was in the closet. You ain't see that shit like it was. This back in the late 80s, in the, you know what I'm saying, the early 90s. You know, everybody was in the closet. But now you ain't even gotta be in the motherfucking closet. You got look, you got some that down low, but they ain't hiding that shit though, man. You know, they not hiding how they feel because the Most High gave them up to the vile affection. You know, when you just read Romans 1, read the whole chapter, Romans 1, man. All right, and they're gonna give you the whole rundown. All right, as a man and a woman, all right, how they supposed to be, they natural effect. You know. But this is Isaiah 3 and 9. I'm gonna go into work. But it says, they declare they sin as Sodom, they hide it not. Woe unto their soul. Woe means destruction. So destruction unto your soul, for they have reward evil unto themselves. There you go. So you rewarded evil, meaning bad times, hard times unto yourself, man. Basically, you have rewarded yourself with thermonuclear missiles. Because that's the only way, all right, the Lord gonna be pleased. You know, when he come back, he bang your ass up. All right, so Lord willing, y'all brothers and sisters edified. Next time, say Shalom, Baba Baraka Akim. May the Lord continue to bless y'all morning. All right.